In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to add advanced GPS to your Minn Kota Terrova. Advanced GPS is the newest version of GPS for Minn Kota trolling motors. It replaces the iPilot and iPilot Link systems that Minn Kota previously used. If you need a more in-depth explanation on the difference in advanced GPS and iPilot, I'll link a video for you down in the description below. But basically, advanced GPS is going to add spot lock and other GPS features to your motor. Now for the Terrova, there's two different versions of this motor based on the year that it was manufactured, and that'll decipher which kit you need for your motor. There's the Terrova Legacy, which was manufactured in 2007 through 2016, and there's the Terrova Bluetooth, which started being manufactured late 2016 and is still being made. Now you can identify your model year based on your serial number. Your serial number can be found on a sticker located on the inside of your mounting extrusion below the motor rest. On legacy models, the serial number will begin with WWAH or WWAI for 2007 and 2008 models, or start with the letter J through Q for 2009 through 2016 models. On Bluetooth models, the serial number will begin with R through V for 2017 through 2021 models, or start with 22, 23, 24, etc. for the following years. Another easy way to identify if it's a Bluetooth model is if the motor has a lift assist assembly above the steering motor. What all comes with the upgrade kit will vary based on the year and voltage of your motor. For legacy or non-Bluetooth models, the kit will come with the advanced GPS controller or top cover, a matching bottom base, the remote of your choice, the new style Bluetooth control board and control housing cover, an optional heading sensor if you want to enable the jog feature for your spot lock, and all of the necessary installation hardware. For the Bluetooth models, the upgrade will be much simpler. It will just come with the advanced GPS controller, the remote of your choice, and an optional heading sensor. I'll put a link down in the description below where you can purchase the correct kit for your motor. So now I'll show you how to install the kit step by step on a Terrova. For this video, we'll be installing the kit on a legacy model. So if you have a Bluetooth model, you can go ahead and skip past this first part where we'll be installing the new control board. You're going to start by cutting off power to the motor. Next, you're going to put the motor in the deployed position, getting the shaft out of the way and giving you access to the control housing. Next, you can remove the side plates with a number 3 Phillips. Once those are out of the way, we can remove the control housing cover, giving us access to the control board. Next, you can disconnect all of your wires. And remove the strain relief to free up the battery lead wire and foot pedal plug. Next, you can remove the 2 control board mounting screws on the side of the extrusion with a number 2 Phillips. And remove the control board. Next, you can remove the steering motor wires from the control housing cover. You'll have to squeeze the tabs on the strain relief with a pair of pliers and slide it out of the hole. You'll only have to do this part if you are replacing the board on a legacy model like we're doing here. If you already have a Bluetooth model, this step isn't required. Now that the old control board is out of the way, if you have some dirt or debris, go ahead and clean that up before installing the new board. This is the new Terrova Bluetooth control board. It'll mount the same way as the legacy board did. Once it's lined up, we can put our 2 mounting screws back in. And start reconnecting our wires. First, we're going to hook up our 4 power wires, slide heat shrink on them, and then plug them in. Here's our motor negative and motor positive. And battery negative. And battery positive. If you're replacing an old legacy board, we can go ahead and put the steering motor wire through the hole on the new control housing cover and clip the strain relief in. Now we can slide heat shrink on the steering motor wires and plug them in. Next, we can slide heat shrink on the red battery meter wire and plug it in. Next, we can hook up the black battery meter wire to the black wire on the board with the blade connector. If you have a brown internal bonding wire on your coil cord, this will be a 3-way connection. If your old control board had this connector on it, you can reuse it. If you need to purchase one from our site, the part number for it is 2320710. Start with sliding the heat shrink on and then plug everything in. Now we can connect our GPS accessory wire and shrink the heat shrink with a heat gun. Next, I'm going to put the new decal on the new control housing cover. Again, this is only if you're replacing a legacy board. Next, we can slide our power switch and battery meter into place on the control housing cover, making sure our buttons and LEDs line up with the holes. And position the locking tab so it covers both the power switch and battery meter. then screw it down with a number 1 Phillips driver. Now that all of our wires are hooked up, we can put our strain relief back on. The large slot is for the battery power lead wire, and the slot next to it is for the foot pedal plug. And once it's on, we can slide our control housing cover back into place. Make sure there's no wires that are being pinched or pulled on, and that the tabs lock in. And once that's in, we can put our side plates back on. Now we can move on to installing the advanced GPS controller. For this step, on 2016 and older motors, you'll be installing both the bottom base and the advanced GPS controller. For 2017 and newer motors, you'll be able to install the advanced GPS controller on your existing base. Start by removing the 4 top cover screws. And pull the cover off. Now, depending on your model, it may look a little different than this one here. This specific motor is a legacy model with autopilot on it, so this control board will be removed along with the bottom base. Now we can disconnect the wires. And remove the insert plug. Most of the older motors will have 3 prongs holding them in. Once that is removed, we can slide our coil cord out of the base. And remove the bolt holding the bottom base on with a number 2 Phillips. And this is our new control box base that will match our advanced GPS controller. Now we can slide our new bottom base on the shaft and line up the hole. Careful not to damage the wires when reinstalling the mounting bolt. Next, we can reinstall our coil cord and hook up our advanced GPS controller. The controller will have 2 wires, one for all of your advanced GPS controls, and the other is an Ethernet cable if you'll be connecting it to a Humminbird fish finder. The GPS wire will plug into the coil cord. If your motor has built-in sonar, this wire will run down through the hole. And the Ethernet wire on the advanced GPS controller will also run down through the hole. Next, we can install our new insert plug that came with the kit. Instead of clipping into the base, the new one will come with 2 mounting screws. Feed your wire or wires into the slot, slide it into place, and screw it down. Now we can slide heat shrink onto our brown wire and reconnect it. Next, we can reconnect our power wires and slide the wire insulators over the connectors. And shrink the heat shrink. And once everything is connected, we can put the advanced GPS controller on and reinstall the screws. And once that is done, we can reconnect our motor to power to pair our remote. There's two different remotes that can pair with the advanced GPS controller: the micro remote and the full-size advanced GPS remote. To pair the micro remote, you're going to power your motor on and put it in the deployed position. Then locate the pair button on the top of the advanced GPS controller. Push and hold down the pair button. You should hear a consistent tone coming from the controller while holding down the pair button on the controller. While holding down the pair button, push and hold down the high-speed bypass and autopilot keys on the remote at the same time. If the pairing is successful, you will hear 4 beeps come from the controller. To pair the full-size advanced GPS remote, you're going to start by powering the remote on. Press and hold the power button on the side of the remote. Once the remote is powered up, hit the menu button. Then, using the speed down button, scroll down to find Bluetooth. Then use the steer right button to select Bluetooth. In the Bluetooth menu, select Pair Remote. Then select Pair to Motor. This will put your remote into pairing mode, and it should say Scanning for the motor at the top of the screen. While your remote is scanning for the motor, push and hold down the pair button on the controller. You should hear a consistent tone coming from the control head. If the pairing was successful, you will hear 4 beeps come from the controller. Now you can go back to the main menu, and the model of your motor should now show up on the screen. So that covers it for the kit installation. If you need to pick one of these up, you can find them at trollingmotorparts.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep trolling.